Welcome back to day 2 of our series that is built on the 23 trillion disability market report. The link is in the comments. Yesterday, we started with the basics, collecting the pieces, because you can't build a tower until you know what's already on the floor. Today, we're going to take the next step, combine the overlaps. And I'll tell you, after more than a decade in this market, from clinical practice to advising Fortune 500s, this is the point where leaders start to see hidden value appear. So we're going to return to the parent example. The example was your parent is using a hearing aid. Your parent lives with back pain. Your parent struggles with arthritis, which makes it difficult to use their smartphone. Most companies may stop here and say, that's 3 markets. But when you combine the overlaps, you see something different. One customer navigating multiple needs, hearing, mobility, digital access, all connected. This is a chance to deliver a unified solution instead of siloed offers. So I want to anchor this with the 23 trillion disability market report, the numbers. Like I said, the disability market report is in the comments. I'm going to share my screen so you can see a piece of this report. All right, so here on my screen, you are seeing the 23 trillion disability market report. I took a small part of the report. There are 24 markets that overlap the 23 trillion disability market report. We are focusing on 3 this week. All right, so you see that hearing aids and assistive listening devices market is circled. That's 450 billion market. Rehabilitation and physical therapy tech, that is another market, 750 billion. Smart home and accessibility technologies, 2.3 trillion market. So when we look at those individually, they look like 3 separate industries or 3 separate markets, but when we combine them, they represent a 3.5 trillion connected opportunity tied to one person. So this was from yesterday. We collected the pieces. We still have one person, and this is tied to all of those different markets that we discussed. These, I believe, when you have overlaps, they're where hidden revenue lies. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look back at the 3 pieces you collected, and I want you to think about this. Where do they overlap? Do 2 of them serve the same customer at a different life stage? Do they solve related problems that could be bundled together? And the last question I want you to think of, do they naturally connect into one experience? So this is an example from my drawing. So we have, notice yesterday, day 1, we have collect the pieces, and hearing aid is one block, smart home accessibility is another block, and back pain rehab is another block. That's all surrounding one person. So today we are actually connecting. So if you see now, same person, we connected hearing aid and smart home accessibility for those overlaps. All right. And that we have enabling. What is it enabling? Increase communication. And then we have back pain rehab. And that overlaps with smart home technology. So this could increase mobility and independence. So those overlaps are not inefficiencies. I believe they're leverage points. So I want you to think about, as you're writing down your overlaps, where you think at least two of your pieces click together. So on my example, I clicked hearing aid and smart home accessibility together, and which in turn it increases better communication. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Right, so now we're looking at day 2 brick. We're combining, which is creating strengths. So those overlaps are creating strengths. All right, they're no longer looked at as separate entities. So when you take a single Lego brick, by itself, it may be fragile, but when you snap it together, you are creating structure. This is where the foundation of scale happens. So I want you to, in the comments, share one overlap you see in your business today. It could be 2 offerings that serve the same customer, or 2 challenges you solve that are really part of the same story. By sharing, you're not showing complexity, you're showing vision. And don't forget to download the 23 trillion disability market report. That is a community resource. And tomorrow we will move to day 3, which is centering on the customer, because overlaps don't just create patterns, they point us back to the human being holding all the bricks.